Welcome back. You're watching India This Morning, and let's update you with the latest that we are tracking from Indonesia. Remember, there was a powerful earthquake that shook the island nation. At least 82 people have been killed over a powerful 7-point magnitude earthquake that rocked this nation in the island of Lombok. Tremors were felt in neighboring Bali and Gili Islands as well. Thousands of buildings have been damaged, triggering power cuts. Last week, Lombok was hit by, just last week, another earthquake, in fact, was witnessed here, killing at least 16 people. Patients at the hospitals were evacuated and were seen receiving treatment on the streets. Now, I would like to go over to my colleague Viren Farao, who is joining us now to give us an understanding of where and how this happened. Over to you, Viren.
Well, Afrida, what I've got behind me is the USGS earthquake tracker. It just gives you a sense of where this earthquake has been and how many earthquakes have actually been. Now, we're talking about the Indonesian island here of Lombok. Now, Lombok is one of the rather well-known tourist destinations. It's not, of course, as popular as Bali, one may say, but we see a lot of tourists, in fact, make their way down to Lombok. And the earthquake, according to USGS, is put at 6.9 on the Richter scale. Some differences there, but negligible difference in terms of the measurement of the earthquake itself. You can see this small cluster here of earthquakes. The earthquake, in fact, the first one that hit was 6.97 on the Richter scale, followed by a number of other slightly smaller earthquakes, but still significant. Numbers like 4.9 on the Richter scale, 5.4, 4.7, 4.9 again, 4.3. Those are the sort of earthquakes that, in fact, hit Lombok, hit Bali, hit all this cluster of islands you can see here. This is in the Java Sea. Now, this has severely, in fact, affected people on the ground. What it's actually done, Afrida, is that this region is actually called the Ring of Fire. Indonesia is surrounded by the Ring of Fire, as we know, which is active volcanoes that are underwater that tend to throw up these earthquakes far too often. There was a tsunami alert which was then withdrawn, but the series of earthquakes, in fact, triggering panic on the island itself. Now, a number of people were on the island. As you know, it's a tourist destination, and among them is Christy Teigen. Now, she is a well-known actor. She's a well-known host of reality shows, etc. And she was on the island, in fact, in Lombok when this happened. And she's talking about how she was extremely nervous. She says, at one point she says we were trembling so much. She's in Bali, in fact. She said we're trembling so much. I don't know whether it's the earthquake or the tremors that we're feeling, after that. And you can imagine the kind of situation that, in fact, people there on the ground are feeling. Right. Hospitals have had to be evacuated, patients being treated on the ground. That is the reality that Indonesia is waking up to this morning. It's been a very tough night and an equally tough morning and a tougher day to come.
And talking about important reactions that have come in, you mentioned one of the top TV hosts also. Najmul Akhir, head of North Lombok district, estimated that 80% of the region was damaged by the quake. There's another response that we have from Singapore's Home Affairs Minister, who was in Lombok for a security conference when the earthquake struck, and he describes in a Facebook post saying walls cracked and it was impossible to stand. So that's just to give you an understanding of how severe this earthquake was.